Hello, my name is Richard Chilton,
I'm Michael Evans,
I'm Richard Hovey.
and this is Cards and Boards.
and this is the first time we've all been together on one of these broadcasts since ever.
Richard Hovey is real.
I apparently am.
Yes. This week, we're looking at Dungeons & Dragons, The Legends of Drizzt. It's part of the Dungeons & Dragons line of board games. I think it's the third or fourth one. Comes with 2 rule books, this very thick, I'd say 14-page one, with 3 or 4 pages of introduction material and a lot of big illustrations. And this book of scenarios, where you basically get the specific rules you're using for that bit.
So to start out with, everyone chooses a hero, and
And
you choose the powers that go with it according to that thing. There are daily powers, utility powers, and at-will powers. Usually the daily and utility powers are once a game. It will say, if it says flip card over after use, it means once per game. The at-will powers are usually once per turn. And every character, once you pick your character, you'll get a miniature as well.
yeah, here's the barbarian. Here's the
Fighter.
dwarf.
And you start out on the start tile.
And you have a huge stack of tiles like this. We only have 2 of them out because there's 2 different types basically, and we want to show you each one. So, at the start of each turn, you have your hero phase, where you can move, attack, then move, then attack. So, he moves, he gets to the edge.
That stops your movement.
That stops your movement. Next phase is exploration phase. If you're at the edge of a tile, you get to flip one of these over, and this one has that little black arrow down there, which means that a random encounter happens on this tile before you do anything else.
Means you draw a card, and so for example, there's the volcanic eruption. For example, there's a volcanic eruption.
Typically means you're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, there are various tiles that have volcano vents. As they volcano vents, in this case, they all explode and do damage to heroes on that or within one tile of it.
Yes. And these, of course, this is one tile, this is one tile, this is one tile. Very easy scale to do.
Now, there's ones with black arrows and ones with white arrows.
Yes.
The white arrows if you get the white arrow, you just get a monster card. If you get the black arrow, you get to encounter a monster card.
Yes.
Yeah, so even when you don't get a black card, you think you're safe, you're not, because you've ended your movement, and the monster comes out next.
You choose the monster.
Yes. Monsters are things like trolls. And you'll see there's a clump of mushrooms here. That's where the monster starts. That's one of the oversized one. We also have regular sized ones like this. That's only 1 hex.
And a water elemental.
And each monster has an armor class, which is when you roll the dice, you have you add that, plus you add any bonuses, you get your attack. You try to get that number or above to hit it. There's how many hit points it has. That's how much damage you have to do to it to kill it. There's a bonus it gets when it's attacking you, that it adds to the d20. And then how much damage it does, or what effect it does.
And of course, all your characters have a armor class, hit points, speed, how fast they can go, and healing surge. If you get knocked down to 0 hit points in this game, you get flipped over like this, and on your next turn, you get to use one of the group's healing surges. The scenario will tell you how many you have. It's usually maybe 1 or 2 for the entire group. And if there's no healing surge, you've lost the game. Or at least the scenario, because these are more or less based around the Drizzt stories, and they all survived into those stories usually, so if you can't finish it because somebody's died, you've lost the game.
Now, when you draw the monster card, it has tactics, which means it tells you how it would move. Like I say, if it's next to if it's next to hero, it usually attacks, or will usually move to attack. But each monster does something different. So, like I say, so once the exploration is done, monster is drawn. It is the monster's turn to do something.
Yes.
So you follow the tactics. what it says to do, and then you resolve that.
Most times it's charged mindlessly towards you. Sometimes it will charge mindfully towards you. Or if it has a range attack, it will hit you from a distance.
And when you draw a monster card, it goes to you. You control it. So every time it goes to your your villain phase, that will activate, and it will do what it says under tactics.
Maybe you could explain the 3 phases.
Yes, the hero phase. If you have 0 hit points, you use the healing surge if one's available. That's the first part of your hero phase. So right out of the way, if you were dead last round, you have a chance to come back. Number 2 in your hero phase. Perform one of the following actions. Move and then make an attack, attack and move, or make 2 moves. And then it says flip this over for exploration phase and villain phase, or explanation of the exploration phase. So with this one here, as we already showed you, you move your speed up to your speed, find a tile by exploring it, so you flip over one of the tiles on the board, and if you place the tile with a black triangle, you draw an encounter card immediately. So you draw your encounter card. Let's try one. See what that says. Just one. Fall through the cracks. Oh, awesome. Remove your hero from play at the start of your next hero phase. Place your hero on any square on the start tile. While your hero is out of play, you do not draw an encounter cards for any reason. That is an amazingly awesome card because it doesn't kill your character. That never happened to me in any of these games we've played. I always die. And so then, if a villain is in play, like one of the main bad guys, which will bring up the Batsu Urtu, who is a Baylor, and he's nasty. And these guys, the villains, always go on everybody's villain phase, not just yours, even if you expose them. Once it's your turn, then it goes to the next person's turn, and it goes in turn each way, and gets to do whatever its card says it does. After that, we skipped one. Draw a monster card at the end of the exploration phase. So you draw your monster down. We'll go with this guy here. He is already there. Then, if you didn't draw a tile on your exploration phase, so say if I moved to here, this tile was already there, and I didn't draw any other tiles, I get
a random
encounter card, which can cause you massive pain. And then the villains go, and then after that,
most of the villains have their own cards of it.
Yes, they even have their own cards with the tactics, which are specialized. Some of them are nasty, like draw an encounter card. I'm not a fan of that one. Then each villain or each monster gets to go. So usually they get to move and attack. Some monsters can actually move 2 tiles and attack, or attack within 2 tiles if they're a ranged attack person. And then it starts back over to your hero phase.
Now, if on your hero phase, when you attack, if you do manage to kill a monster, you will get a treasure card. Treasure cards are items that will help you, or situations that will help you, such as Fortune Camp. Basically, it's play immediately, and what it does is puts a camp token on your thing. And if you would have to draw a counter card, you can choose to sacrifice the camp token and not draw a counter card. Then there are items such as Bracelets of Blinding Strike. Used after an at-will attack power against an adjacent monster. Basically, use an at-will attack power against an adjacent monster. Its ability can be used only once per hero phase, which means you get an extra attack.
It's really awesome on Drizzt, because then he gets like 3 attacks instead of just the 2. Most heroes only get 1.
Yes. Most heroes get a melee selection of melee attacks. The halfling gets a I'm controlling this monster temporarily attack, because in the books he has a little pendant that he waves in front of people's faces and goes, "You want to do what I say? You want to do what I say? Beat that guy up." Some of them get ranged attacks.
Yeah, Category gets ranged attacks primarily. She does have a sword that she can use, but it deals damage to you to use the sword, so I generally stay away from that one and just move 2 squares and then fire at a bad guy instead, or run as fast as I can. Some of them have special powers. Canterbury has the ability to, if she moves to an area, after she explores the area, she can move 2 squares away. So sometimes the blast may put her, say, in a different square altogether than where she was at originally, so over to here. So if she had a tile there that said volcanic vent explosion, and it affects something within 1 tile, she's no longer within 1 tile of her exploration phase, so she's not affected by it, which is a good thing to have for her.
So basically, you select a adventure. And there's one player adventures. There are, most of them I looked at had between 2 and 5 characters walking around.
Yeah.
Each person selects which one they have. Usually, you roll off. High roller gets to pick first. After that, you select which powers that character will have on this playthrough.
Yep.
Put down your hit points and things like that. And do whatever the scenario tells you to do. Generally, there's an object like kill the evil dragon at the end of the adventure, or escape, or something like that. If you do that, you win. As stated before, if somebody dies and there's no hero survivors left, you all lose. So, everybody wins or everyone dies. There's no individual winners.
Yeah, it depends upon how much you help each other out through it. And you can get potions, and you can use those potions on your allies as well, not just yourself. Every character also gets a treasure at the beginning of their game. When the game starts, you get a random treasure. Some of these treasures, I recommend getting a treasure that actually does something for your character instead of attack immediately.
We more or less house ruled that it was a play immediately card that has no effect because there were no monsters out in play already. Then we destroy, yeah. But as you can see at the top of this, it says how many at-wills he gets, and it says he gets a treasure. And those items listed there are basically his at-will powers to attack. So, he gets his club, he gets his hatch, so his axe. And then from then, you go on. Now, during the game, you can improve your character slightly by leveling up. That's why they have stuff on both sides. But one side is level 1, other side is level 2. And it tells you what you get. You get generally an extra hit point or 2. You get a bit harder to hit, things like that.
You also get an extra daily power as well. And anytime afterwards that you roll a natural 20, you could deal 1 extra damage instead. So if you roll a natural 20 and then you have 5 XP from monsters you kill, you could spend those 5 XP to level your character up.
Because each monster at the very bottom has the amount of XP you get for killing it.
And we probably skipped over the XP. Basically, you get the XP from killing the monsters. It's group XP. And on your turn, if you roll natural 20 and you haven't leveled up already, then you can choose to spend 5 of those saved XP and flip your card over. Generally, it's a good idea to save XP until everybody levels up. The only other use for that is if you're going to have a situation where you must draw an encounter card, you can spend 5 XP to avoid drawing the encounter card. Which, it's kind of good because most of the encounters are pretty bad.
Yeah, encounters aren't your friend.
Yeah, no.
But it can be really, really bad if someone says, well, I don't want to have an encounter and I want level 2, and he spends all the group's XP that way. And then you, on the next time, get the 1 in 20 chance of rolling a 20, but oops, no XP to level you up. Sorry.
I've had that happen before. One of the players was not happy with it, but he understood because he only had 1 hit point left. And we used it, because the next thing we got afterwards is everybody takes damage, and he had, and since that time, got a healing potion for that, and was very happy he had the healing potion. If not, he would have been dead, and the game would have been over. It can be very tough with all the encounters and stuff like that, but it's doable. It's definitely doable.
When we say tough, though, it's really a Beer and Pretzel's game complexity. It's basically move your guy, flip a tile, roll a die, see what happens, decide which attack you're using before you roll the die, things like that.
Eat chips.
Eat chips.
Very much, it's a Ameritrash game. It's mostly theme. over strategy.
And these rules for the Dungeons and Dragons bit are more or less the same rules they use on all of the Dungeons and Dragons board games. I think there's 3 or 4 of them out now.
Yeah, this is the third one, I believe. They're the first one or the second one. I can't remember which one comes first, but one of them is the Ravenloft.
First was Ravenloft.
Then the next one is something with a dragon. It's something a dragon like Ashmedai or something like that, or Acheron or something. Then there's this one, and then there's a fourth one afterwards, which improves the game even further. I'm not sure to what point, but I've heard that it's better than the other 3 that are out there. I'm gonna try to look into buying it. This game here itself cost, what was it? I ended up paying $100, I think, for it.
Canadian.
110 Canadian. And then if you look online, that's fairly cheap. I got it from a store, and online through like eBay and stuff like that, I've seen them upwards of 120 or more.
Mainly because of all the work done on the miniatures.
And the miniatures are amazing.
Yes. They are basically monsters are color coded. So all the green type of miniatures will be in one bag, and they'll generally be trolls and things like that.
Goblins, trolls.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the water-based or ethereal type creatures are blue. There are purple ones that are basically drow.
And then there are villain ones which are gray.
Yes. And you just hunt around to find the right miniature, put it on to represent that one.
It does give you it does have that Dungeons and Dragons feeling. It's not really a role. It's not a role playing game, but it's a dungeon crawl. But it gives you that D&D feeling. I find
It's definitely like a miniature D&D game.
Yeah.
Like they tried to come out a while ago with the miniatures where you move your guys and you attack armies and stuff like that. This one is much more down personal, and it's a lot more entertaining, I find, than those miniature games.
Yeah.
Very rules light.
Yeah.
As in, I'd say about at least a quarter of the rule book is illustrations. You have things like pages like this where you have a couple columns of rules between the 2 pages. And the rule book itself is 14 pages long, but
a lot of it flavor text and
a lot of it flavor
Yeah.
text.
illustrations.
Actually, the first 2 or 3 pages are basically flavor text.
Yep.
And
It says 12 and up. I haven't played it with my 12-year-old son yet, but he wants to, and I just haven't had time to sit down with it yet with him. I wanted to play through it a few times and bring it over to entertain everybody else so we can understand the rules better, so that when he asks me questions out of the blue that I haven't thought of yet, because as every evil overlord knows, you ask a child and they will know the answer or come up with questions you haven't thought of yet. I think that's pretty much
yeah,
about
that's all
it.
I said, yes.
So this has been Cards and Boards. Thank you for watching.